So I want you guys to think back 7 years ago, around 2012, 2013, we're all probably around middle school age, almost high school. 7 years ago, my life changed drastically. I want to talk to you guys about mental illness because in case you didn't know, 1 in 5 adults will experience mental illness in any given year. So that's a lot of people that you know, you love, you care about that are going to be part of that statistic. And there's a good chance that a lot of people in this room are going to be a part of that statistic as well. So, mental illness awareness has played a large role in my life starting 7 years ago. I was 12, and in 2012, my mother's mom, my grandmother, was diagnosed with acute paranoid schizophrenia. And my other grandmother has lived with chronic depression for over 30 years. So for the past 7 years, I've gone to numerous counselors to talk about these diseases, to try and cope with my side, with my family, and to attempt to understand them better. So I've done way more research than I ever thought that I would ever do on mental health. So today I want to talk about those two diseases specifically, depression and schizophrenia. And I want to talk to you guys about NAMI, which is the National Alliance of Mental Health. So,
click on the arrow.
What do I do?
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the late months of 2012, early months of 2013, my grandmother was diagnosed with acute paranoid schizophrenia. And this is the headline that was on all of our local newspapers because she went missing in Hawaii while she was there looking for a job. She was a teacher. My dad had to go over and get her because she had had a mental breakdown and was in a psychiatric hospital. We didn't know what was wrong with her. The doctors really couldn't give us any information, so my dad went over, brought her back, and she lived with us for a couple of months. She was acting strange, doing weird things, but I was kind of used to it. My grandma was kind of strange. But in 2013, in February of 2013, police officers at around 6 a.m. came to my house and told my mom that my grandmother had called them and told them that she had shot me. So she had a complete mental breakdown and was transported to the hospital, and that's when we found out that she had schizophrenia. So schizophrenia is a chronic mental illness, and basically what the big long name means is that it's a genetic disorder that entails paranoia, hallucinations, delusions, and a lot of other behaviors that aren't normal. It's a genetic disease, so personally for my family, my mom has about a 14-15% chance of getting it, and I have about a 6% chance. So that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you think about it, it really kind of sucks because most people don't have any chance of getting it, and you have, even just having a little bit can play a big effect. Something also with that is my grandmother didn't inherit the disease until she was in her 60s. So normally schizophrenia hits you when you're in your around the age that we are now, like mid-teens, 20s, early 20s, right around college age. It usually sparks with some sort of stress. So my mom and I, personally I have to think about, like, in stressful situations, is it going to hit me now? Or are we just going to have to wait and see if it hits us in our 60s? Because what caused hers was a severe mental breakdown, and that could happen at any time. So schizophrenia can be handled by taking medication, but there's no specific cure for it. In my grandmother's case, she refuses to believe that she's sick, and because our federal laws say that she can take care of herself, we have no control over anything that she does. So that means that my mom and I haven't seen her for 3 years, and we don't know where she is or what she's doing, if she's safe, if she's even alive. So it's really kind of tough, but that's the way that our laws go, and we can't really change anything about them. So moving on to depression. Like I said earlier, my other grandma, my dad's mom, has suffered with chronic depression for over 30 years. And while a lot more people probably know more about depression than they do schizophrenia, they're usually misinformed or don't completely understand the disease. They have a broad understanding. But roughly over 3 million people in the US are diagnosed with depression each and every year. The chronic part means that you live with it forever, and my grandma has that chronic side. She'll basically die with the disease, but she will live through it. Some symptoms of depression that you guys might see in people that you know and love: extreme drowsiness, a lack of motivation to do things that people once enjoyed, poor concentration, low self-esteem, low appetite, and changes in sleeping habits. The best advice that I can give people is, if you think or know someone that might be suffering from depression, don't ignore it. Either reach out to them or reach out to somebody that can help them, because it would be way better for someone to be mad at you for trying to help than them doing something drastic to hurt themselves. So, with that advice, I want to talk to you guys about NAMI, which is the National Alliance of Mental Health. NAMI has been my go-to for help in the situations that I've gone through, that my family has gone through. They have a really great helpline, not only for those suffering with mental illness, but for the families and friends of the disease. I personally have taken advantage of the helpline and can say that just talking to someone about what you've gone through, or about what your family is going through, is extremely helpful. Even if it's not you that's suffering from the illness, it's therapeutic and it's helpful. NAMI is an organization that spreads awareness and attempts to end the stigma towards mental illness. Mental illness just affects way too many people each and every year for it not to be talked about, and for people not to be informed, because your mental health is just as important as your physical, if not more. NAMI's goal to end the stigma around mental illness goes deep into the fact that mental illness is looked at in a really kind of negative way, and it's really kind of uncomfortable to talk about for some people. But like I said, there's just so many people that suffer. It's one of those things you can't just ignore. Another thing with NAMI is they're trying to end the stigma against families, because I know several families, family friends that don't talk about their mental illness in their families because they're ashamed of it. And it's not something to be ashamed of. You have to be able to talk about it, and you have to be able to share your story with everyone. Because I know that if I would have known more about mental illness as a kid, I wouldn't have felt so much like an outsider among my friends who didn't know anything about mental illness. So I really hope you guys learned something today, or at least took something from this, because schizophrenia and depression, these diseases, aren't just going to go away anytime soon. And the more that people know, and the more that people are informed about them, it makes for better research and the better help that we can give people suffering with the disease, as well as their families. So like I said, please check out NAMI's website deeper if you're interested, and don't be afraid to ask questions about mental illness. I have no problem talking to anybody about them. I'm willing to answer questions that anybody has, because we need to talk about it more. It's not talked about enough. So thank you all for listening. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.